And the reason why I think this is a misstep by Amazon is there is no consumer benefit. Amazon's got a really serious issue that they have had to put this into place for that they're not telling anyone about.
All right, on this one, I'm calling BS.
My biggest concern is how long it's going to take them to realize.
Hashtag size matters. It's the most logical one here. All right, team. So there's been a few things happening this week, and we're going to run through these with you. Starting off, Samir, where should we kick off? Should we start with storage?
Yeah, I think storage is the big thing.
Because size matters.
Because size definitely matters. In this case, 100% right.
Yeah. All right. So tell me about how size matters or shrinkage in this case.
So I think in a lot of cases when Amazon makes decisions, as sellers, we get frustrated.
Trying to decipher what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing is, you can understand because ultimately it's the end consumer that Amazon cares about. And inevitably, whenever Amazon makes decisions for them, it can frustrate sellers. So, for example, if they're like pulling out some of your reviews that they think are fake, for example, increasing FBA fees so that they can improve the Prime
margins.
Service, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Prime services. There are genuine and having really draconian measures that mean your listings come down because they're worried about a consumer experience being really negative. So you can see, like you said, they take it too far sometimes from a seller's perspective, but it's for consumers. With this storage, the problem I have, and the reason why I think this is a misstep by Amazon, is there is no consumer benefit.
I'm going to say my magic word. Let's unpack this because then we jumped ahead. What's happened? And then let's complain about it. Or I'm going to complain and you can try and decipher it.
Sure.
So what's happened?
So Amazon's reduced the capacity for FBA storage in the US specifically, this is, by somewhere between 60 and 75% for, it appears to be pretty much all Amazon sellers.
Yeah. So the storage capacity you previously had, which is based on your rate of sale and everything else and all your forecasts, that's all decreased in size has been...
Yeah, and they've done one size fits all. I mean, it really does feel like almost a one size fits all for everyone. I know there's slightly different proportions, but it's somewhere between 60 and 75% as far as we can tell across the board. This is affecting people who weren't using the storage, but were planning to. Maybe they're coming up to a peak season, particularly with Prime Day.
Yeah.
And other people who are managing that storage really well. And this is a bit that really irritates me. It's like there are sellers who are managing their storage really well that have been impacted by this dramatically.
Yeah, right. So not only have we been affected by the tariffs, now you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I manage my stock and how do I manage everything else? By the way, we're going to come back to tariffs, but got my stock under control. All right, I'm going to get it all sent in. I'm going to do a whole 3 months worth in one go, get it all in real early. And now we've been hit by this. Is that actually the bit? As I'm saying it, I'm thinking, do you think that's why they've done it?
Absolutely.
Are they going like, everyone's going to try and like bulk up for tariffs. Let's just get ahead of that?
Look, the volatility that's coming in and everything is really important, plays into this. It's just making sellers' jobs harder, whether you hold that stock in Amazon or outside of Amazon and drip feed it in. Regardless of that, where this is going to impact you is you can't hold enough stock essentially for Prime Day. At the moment, you can't hold enough. You can't be putting it in.
Weird, right?
If you think about how early you need to send in stock for Prime Day, right? Because Amazon set dates on those.
Yeah. Currently, our position, by the way, is early June. You want to have your stock in.
Yeah. So you want it there. You need to stock up for Prime Day, and then you need to be stocked beyond Prime Day in order to make sure you're maintaining 30-day rate of sale level in order to get the maximum visibility. You just cannot physically do that at the moment because Amazon's brought these measures in.
So this is one of those situations where we're scratching our heads thinking, why? What's going on? So, and we actually don't know the answer.
We don't know. Look, either Amazon's got a really serious issue that they have had to put this into place for that they're not telling anyone about, or it is a misstep. And I don't think this is something that they intended to do. I think they've miscalculated here.
Just like plugging stuff into ChatGPT, asking for an equation, dividing by 2, something like that.
Something along those lines, yeah.
And we're going to come back to Amazon's AI in a bit.
Look, I think Amazon's team is actually really smart and they rarely make this level of mistake, but I think they have done here. Be interesting to hear what other people think about it.
So, okay, we're going to do a section where Leon is checking what the communities are saying and introduce our new game.
Yes, so we have a look at what people are saying on r/fulfillment by Amazon on Reddit. And we've got a few theories.
All right, let's do 3 theories. Which one is likely to be correct?
Yeah, we're going to either disagree or agree.
All right.
So, number 1, people think Amazon overextended during the pandemic because they built up so much warehouse infrastructure during COVID-19 to meet the surge in online shopping demand. But now, with the return to more typical shopping partners, Amazon may be recalibrating its operations, leading to reduced storage allocations for third-party sellers.
All right, on this one, I'm calling BS.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And so here's the reasoning. We know they increased their storage capacity.
Yeah.
They doubled it.
Between 2020 and 22, they doubled.
Yeah, doubled this, which is massive.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense for them to then stop giving you opportunities to pay for that storage capacity.
No, more than that, Amazon increased their growth over the last 5 years, utilized that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
exactly.
so yeah, there's no reason to pull back on it. This isn't Amazon kind of having grown too fast. No, that's not what's happened here.
So we're calling theory number 1, not real, not legit, 0 points.
Yeah.
Okay. 0 to 1 for Reddit so far. Okay, the next one. Monetization through capacity manager. So people are thinking that Amazon are doing this to drive more people towards their capacity manager, for context where you buy and bid for extra capacity in Amazon to effectively make more money.
I think there's some truth there. Some truth.
Fine. Pay for storage. Okay, let's go. What's your theory?
Well, we know for a fact that Amazon's been allowing you to, for the last 18 months, to bid for additional storage, right? And the natural result of this is that sellers are going to have to request additional storage and pay for it. So that bit I agree with.
Fine. So you're saying Amazon is now entering Hunger Games mode, survival of the fittest, fight it out for your storage capacity, or you're out.
No, I don't think that is what they intended to do here. I think there was an element of it, a proportion of it, but I think they've just been too drastic in cutting that. So, like you said, between 60 and 75%, there's a huge amount of capacity they've just reduced, right?
It's a huge amount of shrinkage.
Yeah,
in anything.
With no notice.
65% shrinkage in anything is a lot.
And with no notice, with no discussion on it, so no warning. It doesn't make sense that they would do something so dramatic so quickly because they just don't know how sellers are going to respond. That is true,
Wild
right?
rebellion.
They're going to get a range of responses on this. People are just going. There are so many sellers that are just going to go, "I'm not going to pay for that."
Yeah.
Then what's going to happen?
I think it's not going to be able to is the reality of it.
Yeah. The only way they are going to be able to is push prices up. So two things, right? It's going to impact the amount of stock that's available at a time coming up to a critical point with Prime Day coming up, right? So you're going to have less stock available, which inevitably lead to longer delivery times and higher prices. Yeah. None of those are things that Amazon wants for its customers.
Fine. So possible theory, point, though Trump Kool-Aid logic, fail. But overall, point.
Yeah, there's a point there for Reddit.
1-1 for Reddit.
Okay. The deciding
theory.
The next one is that people are saying Amazon trying to encourage people to use their upstream services. So have you heard of the Amazon Warehousing and Distribution, AWD? Apparently, they are limiting people's FBA storage to encourage them to utilize these services for better inventory management.
AWD is a service it's being trialed at the moment. The algorithm that moves stock from AWD into Amazon FBA fulfillment centers is not perfect. Amazon are aware of this. I was in Paris with a development team 2 months ago, where they've actually allowed us in a beta program to go in and to help them tweak and improve that. So I think knowing that they know it's not perfect, this would send such a flood of stock into AWD. It's not what they're going to want at the moment.
Fine.
So long term, I think that there is something to this.
On there. But for right now, again, fail. No points for Reddit.
Yeah, no. I don't think this is the reason. I don't think this is the reason behind it. I think they intended something. They just misstepped and misjudged how dramatically this has impacted. And my biggest concern is how long it's going to take them to realize. I think we're going to see this repealed. That's my point, right? I think we're going to find this pulled back.
This is the repealing tariffs, all this kind of stuff. We're going to come back to this topic. So yeah, okay, fine.
All right. Scarily, the more you align this to Trump, the more similar it appears.
Yeah. Okay, but fine. Maybe it is. Okay. Maybe there's something in the air. Maybe there's something going on in the US that there's.
I'm just going to try this. I don't care. Just push it full force. Let's see what happens. If they complain, I can always pull the button back. We can walk through the door. We can walk back out of it again. Maybe. I don't
wait and see, wait and do, and they did. So what should people do? If you're a seller, you've just had your shrinkage. What do you do to get in that warm space?
The biggest problem with being a seller on Amazon is you're very isolated. You've got a very small voice. And ultimately, often don't feel that you've got any voice and don't say anything. I think that's the wrong decision. Say things. Email Jeff.
Jeff at Amazon.com.
Yep.
That's email address is still monitored.
Send that email through, right? We want to get a flood of emails going through to that. Post on the Amazon forum. I know there are some whack jobs on there, but fundamentally, just post. Let's get the message out there.
Comment on our videos, subscribe to our videos, subscribe to our podcast.
Vote for us, right?
Make some happy, all that kind of stuff as well.
Well,
but in seriousness, let people know. Let the people know.
And look, actually do comment on social media, put out posts, explain how it's affecting your business. Amazon will listen eventually. I'm certain of that.
We should try and do a takeover hashtag, like hashtag not my shrinkage.
I think we need to get more subscribers before we do that.
No, hashtag size matters. That's the most logical one here.
Hashtag size matters.
Yeah, we need more subscribers. So just subscribe to us and then do hashtag size matters.
That's the solution.
Amazon's going to enjoy searching that hashtag. All right. Have you been hearing all the stuff about Amazon Haul?
Oh, you mean all the stuff in my ear that I'm hearing from Leon about it?
Leon, can you be in our...
Yeah, I've been speaking
can you
about
do
Amazon
ASMR?
Haul
Can you do
quite a
ASMR
lot.
style? Like,
Just people on their commute to work turning the volume up because they're like, why has this guy randomly started whispering?
they're going to enjoy it. Do it for the
love
fans.
it. Oh.
For the fans. Only for the fans.
I think that's a bit strange. Did you hear what I said?
What's that?
You didn't hear what I said? This is cool, actually, because I can just start whispering things and these guys don't know what I'm saying. So
It's for the fans.
I'll tell you some secrets about Hans Muir. You don't have a clue what I'm saying, do you? Oh, this is great. This is power. Okay. Amazon Haul. Oh, apparently it's launched in the UK.
Oh, has it?
Hey, just Amazon Haul launched in the UK.
When?
Well, let's tell them what it is first.
I'm not
Let's tell them
sure.
what it is.
So Amazon Haul is Amazon's new direct competitor to Temu and Shein. They're that scared of the dominance of these guys that they've decided to create a website which looks exactly like Temu and Shein. Now, just for context, I've not been on Temu and Shein, but if I went on it, that's what I'd expect it to look like. The website is a mess, and it looks so cheap, and it's the fact that you can only buy anything under $20 on Haul. And this was also the big uproar.
So there's the whole de minimis thing. Here's my take on this. The Trump team and the Amazon senior guys are meeting up at nighttime, and they're drinking from the same pool. They're in the same saunas, breathing the same steam, smoking the same stuff. They have to be, right? They have to be, because this is so in their favor. First, that they block out Shein and Temu, and then they set up their own whole thing.
That's not what happened.
So what happened?
It doesn't make sense.
There has to be. Look,
No.
Everything we've said so far, these guys are hanging out.
I let you go with this theory, but there is a problem with this theory. Simple theory is that it doesn't work for two key reasons. One is that Haul is affected by the same rules as Temu and Shein have been hit by.
Fine.
And also, Haul were the ones that Trump was criticizing for putting the duty on.
Everyone, eat my own words. Okay, fine, I was wrong. But I still think they're in cahoots. But I'll come up with a theory on that.
I think you should post that on Reddit.
I'll put that on Reddit. Fine. Another point for the Reddit team.
So do you think, what's the point in Haul? Do you think it's going to work?
Honestly, I think that Haul is just a shot across the bows from Amazon to Temu.
This is why they're in cahoots. It's because Amazon was like, look, Trump team, don't make us set up a whole other website. Why don't you just get rid of de minimis and we'll get rid of our...
Absolutely, you're right. I think Amazon's been going on at the...
Trump was like, okay.
At the US government, pre-Trump, to get rid of de minimis because it was causing them a huge headache.
Yeah.
And don't forget, we've got a de minimis ruling also in the UK. I know Hall's starting up here.
It's here as well, right? So
yeah. But ultimately...
But they're going to get rid of it here too. So
exactly, yeah. So Shein and Temu are going to struggle. This is one of those
moves by Amazon just to be like, we're gonna block you, cock block you.
They've been trying it for so long. This is the US government responding to it, and as you said, I think UK government will as well. Haul, my opinion, Amazon just did it to be a pain for Temu. That was it.
Fine. I know that when I was at Accelerate last year, Amazon Accelerate,
they were pushing it hard then.
Well, the Temu guys were in the street outside. They were getting free Temu stuff. Yeah. They were like,
this is flexing. This is where like Alibaba and Amazon also have beef, right?
Yeah.
So
and Shein was also at Prosper.
Right. Yeah.
So,
And yeah, absolutely. But again, it doesn't really make sense because they play in they affect each other's markets, but they have very different models.
Why can't we all just get
this
along?
is what I didn't understand actually about Shein at Prosper. I was saying this at dinner last night. They created a booth at Prosper, which was not only huge, but it was really like clean and sleek. And it's like, is that really the market
What your
that you're
website is
going
about?
for?
It was all political. That was the reason for that. As far as I'm concerned, there was no obvious reason for them to be there otherwise.
Well, maybe one day all the websites will get along. Until then, beef for everybody.
Well, gives us content.
Gives us content. All right, should we wrap it there?
Yeah, let's wrap it there.
Cool. Catch you guys next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. Please like and subscribe. If you've probably heard us say that before, I'm going to say it again. Thanks. Make us happy. And also, check out the recommendations from our friends at YouTube because they're recommending some good videos.
One love.
Hi team, we drop a new episode every Wednesday, so please like, follow, subscribe. They're on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts from. We would really appreciate if you do this. It really helps us out. Thank you.